NEWS.MC on Monaco Info is brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties. Bringing you news on Monaco's economy, culture, sports and more. Welcome to NEWS.MC, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Coming up on NEWS.MC, discover past week's top stories and meet the people who make Monaco.
Hello, my name is Pastor Maldonado, an ex-Formula 1 racing driver and president of Valtoria Eyewear, and you are watching NEWS.MC on Monaco Info.
What's been making headline in the past week? His Serene Highness Prince Albert II was awarded the rank of Honorary Corporal of the French Foreign Legion during commemorations marking the Battle of Camerone in Aubagne on April the 30th. The annual ceremony honors the legendary stand of a small group of legionnaires in Mexico, a defining moment symbolizing courage, sacrifice, and loyalty. Attended by more than 5,000 people, the event highlighted the Legion's unique identity, with soldiers from around the world serving France. The sovereign's presence reflects long-standing ties between Monaco and the Legion, dating back to the service of Prince Louis II. The ceremony featured key traditions, including the presentation of white kepis to new recruits and a military parade. The distinction awarded to His Serene Highness Prince Albert II reinforces a historic relationship, while recognizing his commitment to preserving this shared legacy of service, honor, and international cooperation. The 6th edition of the Maria Callas Monaco Gala and Awards took place at the Hôtel de Paris Monte-Carlo on April the 30th, celebrating artistic excellence and achievement. The event pays tribute to legendary soprano Maria Callas, who maintained close ties with Monaco's princely family. Each year, the ceremony recognizes individuals across a range of fields for their talent, dedication, and impact. Beyond the awards, the evening also highlights the Principality's cultural life and its commitment to nurturing future generations, with young people increasingly engaged in public and artistic initiatives. The 19th session of the Youth Economic, Social and Environmental Council Monaco concluded with the presentation of proposals developed by 35 high school students on April the 30th. 4 resolutions were adopted, including initiatives to improve life in schools, promote cultural engagement and create a forum for young economists. The proposals will now be submitted to Monegasque authorities, continuing a process that has already led to concrete initiatives in previous years. The program offers young people valuable experience in public life while demonstrating the real impact of their ideas. On May the 1st, Monaco signed a cooperation agreement with the United States through the America 250 Commission, reinforcing long-standing diplomatic ties. The partnership focuses on key areas, including culture, environmental action, and space collaboration, reflecting shared priorities between the two nations. The agreement also highlights Monaco's historic relationship with Washington, dating back to 1866, while promoting a modern, forward-looking approach to diplomacy. Cultural and environmental cooperation remains a priority through projects led by the Prince Albert II of Monaco Foundation, alongside growing partnerships in the space sector involving organizations such as NASA, underlining expanding collaboration across multiple fields. Prince Albert II attended a mass on Saint-Honorat Island on May the 2nd, a site deeply connected to Monaco's history. Held at the Abbey, the ceremony coincided with the arrival of a new abbot, continuing a long-standing monastic tradition. The island, home to the Abbey of Lerins, has historic ties to the Grimaldi family, notably through Augustin Grimaldi. The sovereign's visit reflects both personal attachment and Monaco's ongoing support for preserving this unique heritage. The visit highlighted enduring links between the Principality and this historic Mediterranean sanctuary. At a conference hosted by the Monaco Mediterranean Foundation on May the 3rd, former French Prime Minister Michel Barnier addressed the challenges facing both France and the European Union. Drawing on his experience as former Brexit negotiator, he argued that while the EU has strong economic tools, it still lacks full political and strategic influence on the global stage. He emphasized that unity among member states remains essential, particularly in the face of recent crises, including Brexit, COVID-19, and the war in Ukraine. However, he stressed that unity must not come at the expense of national identity. The 8th summit of the European political community took place in Yerevan on May the 4th, bringing together around 40 delegations in a landmark gathering for the continent. Held for the first time in the Caucasus, the meeting highlighted the region's growing strategic importance between Europe and the Middle East, while also reflecting a broader, more inclusive vision of Europe. The presence of Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney marked a first for a non-European leader, underlining the forum's expanding international relevance. Created in 2022 by Emmanuel Macron following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the initiative aims to strengthen political dialogue and coordination on shared challenges, including energy security, migration, infrastructure, and cybersecurity. It also serves as a platform for informal exchanges between leaders at a time of heightened geopolitical tension. His Serene Highness Prince Albert II took part in discussions on connectivity and economic security in the context of the ecological transition, while also engaging in bilateral meetings. He emphasized the importance of such forums in ensuring smaller states can make their voices heard and contribute meaningfully to wider European cooperation. The 81st General Assembly of the International Military Sports Council opened in Monaco on May the 4th, bringing together military representatives from 79 countries at the Fairmont Monte-Carlo. Organized in partnership with Peace and Sport, the event aims to prepare for the 2027 World Military Games amid a tense global climate. Discussions centered on the role of sport as a tool for dialogue and unity, with the principle of peace through sport once again at the heart of exchanges between participating nations. Monaco's Princes Carabiniers marked a key seasonal tradition with the switch to summer uniforms during the changing of the guard at the Prince's Palace. Taking place on May the 4th, the ceremony saw the iconic dark winter attire replaced with white uniforms better suited to warmer weather. Despite grey skies, the event drew a strong crowd of locals and visitors, highlighting its enduring appeal. The uniform change also extends across Monaco's wider public services, with the next transition scheduled for autumn. The sailing vessel Wiki departed Monaco on May the 5th on a 3-year, 40,000-kilometre expedition across the Mediterranean as part of the Help Save the Med initiative. Built in 1920, the century-old sailboat will travel through 24 Mediterranean countries and territories, carrying a message focused on ocean protection, sustainability, and behavioral change. An international team of sailors, scientists, filmmakers, and reporters is taking part in the journey, which aims to raise awareness about plastic pollution, mass tourism, and marine biodiversity. His Serene Highness Prince Albert II began a 2-day visit to France on May the 6th, tracing the history of his ancestors, with the first stop taking place in the small Drôme village of Bathernay. Home to just over 250 residents, the village is linked to Monaco through Humbert de Bathernay, an influential figure who served 4 kings of France and whose descendants became connected to the Grimaldi family. Now part of Monaco's network of historic Grimaldi sites, Bathernay welcomed the sovereign during a visit celebrating this shared heritage. Prince Albert II also visited a museum dedicated to Humbert de Bathernay, supported in part by funding from the Principality. The visit highlighted Monaco's ongoing commitment to preserving and promoting historical ties between the Principality and regions across France. The Roca team's EuroLeague campaign came to an end after a heavy 105-82 home defeat to Olympiacos BC, who completed a 3-0 playoff sweep on Tuesday, April 5th. Despite a strong start led by Mike James, Monaco struggled to contain Olympiacos' relentless 3-point shooting and were overwhelmed by the Greek side's depth and physicality. Injuries to key players, including Nikola Mirotic and Alpha Diallo, left the Roca team severely short-handed. Monaco now turn their attention fully to the race for the French League title. Next up, our exclusive interview with the personalities making the Principality.
Hello, my name is Pastor Maldonado, an ex-Formula 1 racing driver and president of Valtoria Eyewear. I was born in Venezuela, in Maracay. I born already contaminated with a very passionate family about racing, about the cars, and I was pushing to my parents to bring me to race or to have the contact with the car. So I remember once my father bring me to the track, but I was too small and they didn't allow me to jump in the car. And I was thinking and thinking and thinking until I grew up. I started racing in 1993, always in my country, but I started practicing and getting involved the middle of 1992. I was 7-year-old when I jumped in the go-kart the first time. I will never forget that time. I was always close to the fuel, tires, and racing was my passion, following Formula One always with my parents, with the entire family. I never stopped until 5 years ago. I become more in love on the fighting for victories. You know, that opportunity the man have to make the difference and to become number one, you know. So this passion, I think, bring me to another level. And I start in the junior categories. At the time was Formula Renault, today is Formula 4. And my first race I won, which was something like telling to myself, okay, I have the talent, okay, and I have the chance. That first race put like a mark in my racing career, and I start to believe more in myself, and I said, okay, if I can win in my first race, I can win for the rest of my life. I did Formula Renault, World Series by Renault, which today is like Formula 3. I did Formula 2, at the time was GP2, the name, and then I jumped into Formula 1. And I won all the different steps until Formula 1. I always think about Formula 1 in my career since the first day I start. I saw many people saying that it's difficult, it's nearly impossible. We were not in a country which is the most popular sport also. And I needed to fight against so many things until I jumped in Formula 1. So it was a family history, and we did an amazing job in terms of team. I always call my family my team because we become a very close team, and they help me and support me not only in the nice time, but also in the hard time, because every athlete have up and downs in their life. I always put my sport over my friends, over my family, my girlfriends, and Gabriela was very special because he knew it before I said it. And I needed someone like this next to me, you know, and her contribution for my success was amazing because I have someone next to me. It's very difficult to find. I was always following the races, so I was a big fan of Ayrton Senna for sure, and he was a king of Monaco at the time. And I always had Monaco because in the city, very different race. And I remember in 2003 was my first time in Monaco. And I said to myself, I never forget, someday I will live in Monaco. And today I can say I'm 15 years here in Monaco, and it became a very special place since that first day, because I was always studying the track from the beginning, because my dream was to race here. And the first race I did in Monaco in the World Series by Renault, I won immediately. I qualified my first race second here, and I overtake the other contenders. So I showed that Monaco is not that difficult to overtake. Of course, it's not easy, but there is always a chance if you use your head how to overtake someone. So Valtoria come just because we've been studying a lot our potential. The idea was to create a brand where we can transmit and transfer who we are as a family. I am very passionate about technology, about the new things, about materials, thinking about what behind the brand. What about if we do eyewear, sunglasses, vision glasses, something unique? And I was always thinking about the frames, you know, because always missing something in the frames. The frames were too thin, too big, too small. The vision is not the best. It's very important because you are wearing them in your face. They are representing you. We decided to produce in Japan. First of all, because of the passion. My passion brings me today here, okay? So I needed someone to transfer to me the passion for what they were building, okay? These artisans are 40 years of experience, 30 years of experience. And why Valtoria? Valtoria is the combination of Victoria and Valentina, which is our two daughters. It's something that we want to transfer to the new generation of the family, to do the things different and the perfection, always thinking for the best of the brand. Captain, pilot, and president of Valtoria.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching NEWS.MC, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Discover the full interview and more stories on our websites, NEWS.MC and MonacoInfo.com. Next week, we will receive Gabriela Manescu, founder of Body Tailor Monaco. This show is intended to provide a summary of the past week's top stories for the English-speaking audience. For daily and real-time news updates in English, please visit NEWS.MC and subscribe to our free daily newsletter. For French news, visit MonacoInfo.com. This show was brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties.